Don't you dare hide, Jocelyn. I see you. Come on, Monique. We're having a dance party. Your hands are dancing. I love it, Karen. Dancing. Monique's like, no, I'm not. Oh, here comes Jen. Love it, Steph. I'm every woman. Hi, Jen. Hi, Jen. We're doing a little dance. Okay. Oh my God, I love the puppets, Steph. Love the puppets. Okay, we are here. Nobody expected that I was going to get you to dance, did you? Jocelyn, you are going to move your body. I'm going to make you. I'm just kidding.
I've been sitting in front of this computer for 8 hours and I'm
Exactly.
like, oh, I needed that.
Exactly. Exactly. So we are on record. I'm just going to change my view here. Sloth, yes, Steph had the puppets in. So, okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to Re-Envision Day 1. This is going to be a little bit more of me talking today because we have to get through some guidelines and some this and that. What do people call it? Housekeeping. That is my blue velvet reindeer who will be a part of this 10 weeks for certain. For certainement. I want to just check in. How is everybody? And you can say in the chat a word, or you can, you're all unmuted right now, so you could speak to how you're feeling. Maybe if you're excited, if you're nervous, if you're feeling shy. Just love to know how you're feeling. Tired but excited, Karen. Yeah, great. Nice. Tired too, but looking forward. Yeah, 5 o'clock. Hence the dance. Steph, you have a migraine and took the meds, which make me woozy. Hence the puppeteering.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. Jocelyn, excited. Carol, what about you?
Oh, I'm excited to get started. We're going away for 2 weeks, so have been a little anxious just about the packing and all that stuff, but I'm excited about the group. So this was a good thing.
Nice. Right on. That's great. So I just want to check. Everyone can mute themselves. Do you all have a journal with you by any chance? Yes. Jen does. Steph does. Jocelyn, Karen, yes. And let me just scroll. Monique, Carol, yes. Wait a minute. Where did Monique go? Oh, there she is. I only have little tiny thumbnails. Great. I just want to know, we're just going to do one journal prompt while we're here together. So I'd like to invite you to close your eyes. And I just want to take a few breaths at the start of this journey, this 10-week Re-Envision journey. And all I'd like you to do is just, you can put your hands on your heart space if you like. Just go inward for a moment, noticing that you can slow your breath, you can breathe intentionally. Forget about what's happened before. Forget about what's not perfect, that you can't be on camera or you have packing to do. Just let yourself be here in this moment at the beginning of this journey. And I invite you to think on the question, what is my intention? And that's very different from what your goal is that I've discussed with each of you individually. What is your intention? And that could be that you want to participate in this group in ways you've never done before. That could be that you want to be an active listener, or that could be that you want to practice feeling your fear while also feeling your excitement. What is my intention? And when you hear that, trust whatever you get. It can be really simple. Write it down in your journal. Okay. And you can let that go. You don't have to hold it. It's coming from within you, so it's there. So welcome. I'm really excited to have you, the 6 women that I have had conversations with and felt were a good fit. I'm excited because this is my first time doing a complete hybrid of all the different things I do. So the journaling, most of you have done my journaling workshops many times, and or my journal sessions. And then there's my one-on-one mentoring. Yeah, Monique, you think you've done them all? I think I had to. I think you were resistant in the very beginning. You were like, no, I don't have time. Yeah, I think you missed the first one. But you are a loyal fan of the journaling. It's great. And my one-on-one and then group. So I want to speak to you about my intention. I am going to use my notes tonight because I got a lot to cover. So hope you don't mind. And if you do, it's okay. I'm okay with you minding. So my intention in creating this is to facilitate and to offer a creative, self-reflective journey that is guided and supports you to create the vision, whether that's 10 weeks, 10 months, 10 years, whatever your desire is for this time and whatever your vision is, and to honor and help you move toward the vision with compassion and excitement and authenticity. I love leading groups. I love curating them. I love leading them. But what's really important in how I work is that you are an active participant in your own journey. So I'll lead and guide, but you get to make your choices. You get to make your decisions. You get to show up how it matters to you to show up. Yeah. So in this time together, you got the day 1 journaling. The journaling component is, this will be a long, consistent daily journal practice that is going to give you that time for self-reflection. I've made it so the first week you'll just get 1 prompt, and then from there on out you'll get 1 to 2 prompts. And this is designed so that you're not overwhelmed with the journaling, because when you're journaling on your own, it can feel very easy to put it aside because you don't have time and you got to get to work and you have to do this, or you're busy, or whatever all the reasons. So this is like 10 to 15 minutes, ideally first thing in the morning. And if you can't do it first thing in the morning, do it before you go to bed. The prompts are more designed to be first thing in the morning. Let's see what else I want to say. Yes, I'm offering you this consistent practice for yourself. I've said this before, journaling has been the most powerful tool in my own personal life and my professional life, for everything from giving space to my fears and my doubts to actually talking myself into a new way of releasing doubts, releasing fears, to ideation, conflict resolution. It's where I go to express things when I'm triggered. It's where I go to, like, I don't know, does anybody know about my journal entry? Did I tell everybody the journal entry to go to France? Did I tell everybody that? Have I? No. Very quickly, during one of my own journaling, I journal every day. So this is an example of fleshing out ideas and dreams, but also allowing space for things to come to you that you didn't see coming. So when you get journal prompts, enter with an open mind and heart, because you never know what's going to come out of your hand. It's like another part of you. One day, about a year and a half ago, I was journaling, and I was aware as I was journaling, I was like, what is happening? But I kept going. And I was writing about being in France, and that I was writing and I was coaching from France, and I was leading journal workshops from France. And I was going there for a few months. And I finished the journal entry and I thought, what the hell was that? And where did that come from? I've never thought about going to France. And so, one thing led to another. And in February of this year, I casually mentioned to a friend of mine in BC that, one day I want to go to France and just spend a few months there. And 2 weeks ago, she sent me an email, and it was a link to her mom's apartment in France that's up for rent. And one thing, I contacted her mom. I got permission from my landlord to sublet my apartment. I just signed the papers. I'm going to France for 3 months. It's crazy. That came from a journal entry. So all that is to say is, never underestimate the power of journaling, which is why it's such a major component of this journey. Accountability. Everyone needs accountability, but what we don't need is for it to feel like a task. So I'm going to invite you to consider being accountable as a radical commitment to your own honesty, and to celebrating any and every step you take in the direction you're wanting to move toward here. Accountability is something to build in ourselves. It's not a should, or again, not a task, but consider it fun, consider it play, consider it an invitation for you to praise yourself and let yourself be seen, and to create a new habit of acknowledging yourself. So accountability will happen here. It will happen on the Facebook group. Any questions so far? Sorry, it's so much talking. I'm getting through it. No. Are you excited for me, Steph? Yeah. Steph is French. So accountability. It can be fun. Fun can look like doing a video. All right, I did my thing. I'm going to give you a thing to do this week, by the way. It can look like a simple sentence on the Facebook group, just checking in to let you know I did my thing and here's how it felt. Something simple, but it will be a part of the group. I want you to feel the lived experience of showing up for yourself and letting yourself be seen, so that this is why we're in a group. Facebook. So I will be populating that page. You are welcome to post there. This can be interactive. If you see something, I think Steph shared something, or was it Monique? No, it was Steph. Yeah, Steph. What I post in the weeks will be aligned with what we discuss in our calls. And I just invite you to participate. And I really invite you to step out of your comfort zone. If you're used to being quiet in the background, challenge yourself in this time. This is a really good practice space for you to do things that feel really uncomfortable for you, whether that's initiating a question on the Facebook group, or speaking up, or asking a question on the when we're live in the calls together. Let yourself be seen, take up space, and see others. That's my deep desire as a group of women, is that we support each other, that we allow ourselves to be seen, even if it's uncomfortable, even if being seen is in a moment of vulnerability, and that we see each other. And with each time that you do that sort of thing that puts you out of your comfort zone, you're really teaching your nervous system a new way. I'm going to use Monique as an example. You went through a huge and shocking divorce not that long ago. And Monique, I witnessed, like, because I met Monique shortly after. Can I use you as an example? I didn't ask permission. I'm going to get to the guidelines about confidentiality. I might have my order out of place, but Monique knows me. So I witnessed Monique go through the shock of it and step into things that were beyond her comfort zone, making new connections, showing up and being a part of a winter cold dipping group of women in the lake. I witnessed that. And from that, I've witnessed you lighting up and expanding. But I know it was hard. And I've seen her. So all that is to say, allow yourself to be seen, see each other, get uncomfortable. Okay? I kept the group small to support intimacy, and to give you all the intimate experience of being witnessed and witnessing. It's a really beautiful thing when it's a smaller, more intimate group, which is my preference, than, 100 people. So the other part of this is, I also honor that feeling safe is important. It's paramount that you feel safe. So if ever I call on you and you say, no, I'm going to respect that. I never want anyone to feel unsafe. I have experience creating safe groups. That's very important to me. And also, you get to have agency. I just will ask you to check when I'm being safe, when I'm like not speaking up, when I want to speak up, as an example. Is that old? Is that me in an old place, or am I truly feeling too vulnerable and I need to take care of myself? So you'll feel that out. Does that make sense to everyone? Great. I'm almost done. Guidelines: safe and supported. I want you to feel safe and supported. And I know the women in this group, I know that that's going to be a value that we share. Please speak your truth, have input. If ever lines are crossed, speak it, talk to me. I want you to have agency over your time here. If you're ever like, I didn't really like that exercise, could we try this? I'm open. Any choices, any decisions, any times that you want to speak your truth, go for it. I will support that, and I think we will all support that. This is like a practice ground for using your voice. Please don't coach each other. So just we're witnessing and we're appreciating and we're holding space for each other, but we're not fixing anything and we're not offering solutions. Okay? This is a judgment-free zone. That also means with yourself. Most of us have a habit of self-criticism, and I should. Part of it is what we've learned. Part of it is habits. Part of it is society. The whole thing of taking up space is going to scare some of you. I know that. So it's okay. There's no judgment here. And I am not some kind of guru who is going to have the gauntlet come down on you. And lastly, everything we share here is confidential. Please do not reveal any personal details outside of this circle that would reveal someone's name, their issues, where they live. Can I just get a raise of the hands to that? Thank you. Yeah, I got you. I saw your heart. That's awesome, Karen. Okay, so how are you feeling? What's that, Jen? You're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. The recordings, everybody else, how's everybody else? You okay? Good? Thumbs up? Heart. Okay, awesome. I know it's like the first day and you're like, let's go. But I have to go through all of this stuff and it'll be on the recording. I will send out the recording link via email. And that link will be the same link for the 10 weeks. So save it because I won't send it every week. You'll know that it's up there. Introductions. I would love to give everyone, ready to jump in the pool, everybody? I would love to give everyone the opportunity to, yeah, Karen, you type yours and I'll read it out. What I'd like you to do is say who you are and why you're here, what you're hoping for in this 10 weeks or what your focus is. Who would like to go first? No one. Jen! Jen! Right on.
Really not, right? My name is Jen McNaughton, and I'm here because I kept running into Jen. I
And
met
she
her for the
haunted
first
me.
Yeah, I ran into her for the first time. I don't know, Jen, was it 2 months ago or 6 weeks ago? It was before you were going out west. And she was drawn to my dog, Link, and we chatted for a few minutes and talked about Bella. And she'd written a blog and shared that with me. And then we ran into each other again when she came back on the beach. And then I was working one morning and I looked up and she was walking past my house. And I thought, you know what, there's something here I should be paying attention to. So that's why Jen, I think. But for a while I've been feeling kind of stuck a little bit. I turned 60 earlier this year. Well, actually, it's going to be almost a year. Time flies by. And in the last little while, both my parents have died. I've had 3 surgeries. So there's been health challenges for me. And I'm just at that point, lots of friends around me retiring, about what's next for me and realizing that I'm just kind of surviving and getting through each day and this feeling that there's more and that there's a lot to look forward to. But I haven't really been able to nourish that and kind of tease it out and see what that looks like for me. Maybe I just haven't had maybe I'm afraid of it or just not afraid of what I might find. I'm not sure, but that's really why I'm here, is this feeling of there's something more. The last few years have been kind of rough, but I refuse to believe that this next act of my life doesn't bring some things that are exciting and full for me to look forward to. So that's me.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Monique.
Hi, I'm Monique, and I met Jen cold dipping, and she convinced me to do journaling. And um, there was a sort of a coincidence in the car once we were coming back, I think, from cold dipping, and I was talking about, I got to reinvent my life and all of this, and she said, "Well." You know what I'm going to be doing. And then she sent me the information for Re-Envision, and then still had to convince me a little bit. She said, all the things that you just talked about are exactly the description of the Re-Envision program. So yeah, there was, as you all know now, my divorce took me, pulled the rug out from under me. And I had been through surgery just before that, and I've had some health challenges as well. And then for a while afterwards, there is the healing process of the divorce and the entire relationship and everything. And going through that process, there is a little bit of a fake it till you make it sort of thing, where and you feel like you're in survival mode. And I feel like I'm coming out of survival mode, and it's not serving me. What is authentic? What is the stuff that I was faking till I made it? And what is the real stuff that I want to keep? So what do I let go of? That's really not genuinely me. And what do I hold on to? Because right now I'm dissatisfied with my life, and I, have to reinvent all the plans I had for the last 24 years. So this is like a good, maybe not first step, second step, third step, but like a few steps. It's I don't expect it all to answer all of those questions, but I want to get on the road in the right direction and make some changes in my life so that I feel more satisfied with each day, and in maybe small changes that just lead in the right direction.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And just so you know, I'm taking notes. That's what I'm
I can
looking
see
at.
you. I can see.
Yeah, I'm not like texting, I'm taking notes.
I didn't think you would be.
Yeah. Can you imagine if I was doing that? Oh God. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Who's next? Karen says, good to see you again, Monique. Who would like to go next? Carol. Yes, girl.
Sure.
Stepping into the deep end.
Hi, I'm Carol. So my life took a big change about 5 years ago. Once both of my parents had passed away, I made a big move, about 17 hours from my hometown to where I'm living now, which is close to where my adult children live and now have grandchildren. So talked about doing that for years. So I feel like I manifested the whole thing happening. Was excited for it, wanted a complete change of life. And it was at the start. It was wonderful, a new place, and started meeting a few people and new people. And I moved as a single person. So I was interested in a new relationship. So I was open to that. And one happened, of course, at the start of COVID, which sort of changed a lot of things. So we jumped into it maybe a little too fast, but it was do that or it wasn't going to happen at the time. My thing that I'm here for is in these type of relationships, I don't communicate properly. I've got a lot of fears around it. I lose my voice. I kind of become who that person wants me to be. So yeah, it just going along that way, and I kept trying to change it, and it's just not working. I've known Jen for years, since before I even moved here. We did programs together online. I've actually never met her in real life, which just seems crazy because I feel like I've known you forever. And we chatted with different people from the group, did little online things together. So I feel very comfortable with her. I have done one of your courses. I can't remember. It wasn't a journaling course. I can't remember what it was. It was a couple of years,
You're
a few
true as
years ago.
you. You're true as you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that was really good. And we kept connecting, and this one just resonated. I decided it was time to make a change. So here I am and facing my fears, and yeah, excited and scared and everything.
Thank you for bringing your voice forward. I encourage you to do that. Here, good practice for you.
Mhm.
You. Yeah, great. Thank you. Who's next? Oh, I'll read Karen's because she's popped up. Hi, I'm Karen, married, no kids. I'm 58 and I work as a part-time photographer after leaving the corporate world after decades. COVID and shingles have kept me fairly isolated these last few years, and I feel a bit lost. I'm 2 years, 10 months sober, and I'm doing emotional sobriety work in recovery. And it's been a roller coaster ride back home to myself as I continue to work through decades of numbing out. I feel the way to feeling and healing for me will be through creative work. And that is what I'm trying to strengthen right now in this course and beyond. I'm also smack in the middle of my Saturn return, if you're into astrology, so lots of changing and shifting. Yeah. Beautifully articulated, Karen. Thank you. Thank you. And congratulations. That's huge. I don't know if you saw the women that were, their hands went up when I read that you were 2 years and 10 months sober. So, wow. Yeah, a celebration. We have Steph. Oh, Steph is unmuted.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
All right. So I've worked with Jen in the past, and I was stopped by a lot of fear, a lot of fear. But since working with her, I have now kind of propelled myself into a world that I've created, one that I'm really excited about, one that I'm very happy about. And it's been a long time coming. I used to live my life for everyone else and very not authentically me, for various amounts of reasons. And I'm sure everyone can relate, you know, environment, family, upbringing, you know, being a woman, you know, you can't be too much, things like that. So I went back to a profession and then realized, you know what, no, this definitely is not my profession, but I love what I do. So I actually created my own private teaching practice. So I'm a teacher, hence all the puppets, because I teach online with little kids sometimes. So if you're wondering, like, why does this woman have so many puppets? That is why. I teach French, like Jen said, and you're in French. Jen, your French is great, by the way. And thanks, Monique. Yeah, not that there's judgment. They're just
I love your puppets.
Curiosity.
I want your puppets.
Why does she have puppets? Like,
bring them every week.
as long as I'm here, they're right there. This is my desk. This is where I work. So in the dining room. So I created this life. I love it. And kind of like Jen, you were saying, there's something else. Like, what else? Like, I feel like there's something else pulling me forward. I'm not sure what that is right now. I've been doing a lot of writing as a result to Jen's prompts and things. So I've been doing a lot of writing that way, and I'm thinking, okay, so maybe this is the next step. I don't know. And I'm trying to not ask questions about what it is, how it is, what am I going to do? Because that's my very logical, like, I want to be organized kind of way, and I'm trying to let it go. So I'm here to kind of figure out that next step. What is that next step? What am I stepping into? Because I know that there's something bigger and greater that I'm that's there for me, essentially.
Oh, so good. Yeah. We do want to be in the practice of letting go of the how and the what. Everybody's got that practice. Logic is important. We need our logic to a certain degree, but when it comes to the bigger dreams, it can get in the way. So yeah, really great. Thank you. Thanks, Steph. Jocelyn, hello.
Hello. Well, I have known Jen. I think I was actually cleaning out some papers and stuff, doing some organizing. Since 2021, we met again online. I've never met Jen in person either. And we live in totally different provinces. So she's passed through. But we met. I have gone through a divorce as well. It'll be hard to believe. It'll be 11 years in August since I walked out the door. And so, but COVID really hit me too. I've moved to a new city, and then COVID just really knocked the socks out of me. I lost a couple friends and partners and stuff. And so I was searching for something, and I actually found online coaching, and just the biggest fear, and I think I really related to Steph, is that, the expense and investing in myself. And so, in fact, Jen, I was reading through one of the notes that you had written to me about the time I decided not to spend the money that month for that next 10 sessions. And then I did. So, yeah, I've been working with Jen since 2021. I think this is probably our third one-on-one session that we're just going to be finishing. So really, I'm here because I still had, all these fears and doubts, and I've come a long way in working through all of those fears and the journaling and self-guiding myself. And I just know how supportive and how great Jen is in helping me work through those. And so now is that working in community, and becoming this woman that I've been working through since 2021, and putting myself out there and becoming who I'm becoming. I wrote in 2022, right? My goal was to grow and mature in all areas of my life. And so that's, now I see here that, to support women to be, I was the one who the camera was never on in the group sessions, right? And Steph will relate, didn't talk much during the journal sessions, right? And Monique, but I just feel that I found my voice. I found who I am. I found, that little girl that needed some attention. And so, and journaling was not, doing the heart work was not something that came easy to me. I had emotions that I think had been bottled down for years. I lost both my parents young. And so a lot of grief, lost a daughter. So a lot of grief that I never dealt with. I was that mom that I had to be strong. I'm the oldest child besides, right? So I had to be strong, and I had to just push through all of that. And so, now even this morning's prompt, it's like I said to Jen when I was accountable to her this morning, is, I just started and there were the tears, right? It's like, oh my goodness. But it's so cool when we just let them happen, right? And when we can feel. And so I now support a lot of women that are going through divorce. And just working with Jen has just helped me to be more of a supporter and a coach for them too. So yeah, I'm excited about, kind of letting go of the one-on-one. This is a test run for me, right? We're going to take these 10 weeks and not, because I've only got a couple weeks left of the one-on-one with Jen. So this is kind of like the mother letting the baby out of the nest.
I'm pushing you out of the nest.
Yeah, she said, France for 3 months on top of that.
Oh, I'm still working from France. Don't you worry.
Right.
Really beautiful, Jocelyn. And yeah, I mean, if those of you could know when we first started working together, the difference in even just her voice. Her voice is so much more full and present, and you're just like such an incredible, resilient, tenacious woman. You wanted what you wanted and you didn't give up, and now you're ready for this next step. So
Thank you.
wow, thank you. Yes, Karen, you are the only non-Canadian. I'm sorry that your country is a mess too. Yes, we'll adopt you. Okay, what a great group, hey? Look at all of you. Oh my gosh. I'm going to keep going through the notes that I want to express to you and move you to a journal prompt. But I also want to just thank you. I don't know what you experienced in your body by speaking up. I don't know how you feel after you spoke, how it felt to be seen, but there will be more of that. And that is a huge part of trusting ourselves, letting ourselves be witnessed, letting our nervous systems feel like the clammy palms or the racing heart or whatever it is. I hope above all you felt safe and that you're a little bit like, yeah, I did that. I shared that. It's hard to share our stories. It can be hard to share stories. Says me, who's doing a whole speech on my story in front of like I don't know how many women at an event very soon. Anyway, I'll be hopefully not crying while I'm talking. So you can tell there are some commonalities. Loss of self to some degree, loss of connection to creativity, playing small, settling, loneliness is one of them. It's not necessarily been spoken, but it is a commonality. Fear. And you also have commonalities about what you are looking towards, what you're wanting. And some of those commonalities are a desire to up level your self-love and that fire within you now at this point in your life. A desire to trust yourselves more, to know who you are, your essence. Cultivate more community and more connection with community and self. What's next? Many of you are articulating the what is next for me and staying open to the question. And the feeling of wanting to be empowered to help yourself. That is, I know in my own personal journey, that sense of, oh, I can actually have my own back. That sense of that came with a lot of practicing and learning and opening up to the possibility that I could rely on myself. And that is a very empowering place to be. So this is called re-envision. The basic definition: to envision again in a different way. When we experience loss, like of any kind, whether that's self or a part of ourselves or our voice or death, a life we thought we'd have, a goal that didn't happen, health issues, we will experience heavier, darker emotions. We are not immune to challenges. We are not, no one gets through this life without challenges and difficulties and fear. It's just a matter of how we get through it, how we deal with it. So a lot of our life could have some trauma and shitty stuff, and we can't escape that, but we can live through it and rise above it. And I created this journey to offer you an opportunity to see your challenges and your fears, and at the same time, give yourself this time to recreate a vision for yourself that you can nurture and move into. We do both, and we face challenges and fears and worries and doubts and old thoughts and old patterns, and we move towards something. We move towards something by creating something, whatever that is for you. So this 10 weeks is your practice ground for doing just that. Any questions so far? Went through a huge wave of grief last night before bed. I like that you describe that as a wave. Yeah, it's a wave. And you know, if you breathe through it, it will move through. But we tend to do, like, in the challenging times, we tend to try to, like, what's that stupid meme, keep calm and carry on? What if you're angry and you need to express it? Memes are fun, but I'm more interested in helping myself and helping others live in the full expression of what they're feeling. So to re-envision this time is, I would say, to look with new eyes, with new hope. This is soul work. Yes, your brain is involved, but it's ultimately soul work, this inner work. I have a quote from David White. By definition, soul evades the cage of definition. It is the indefinable essence of a person's spirit and being. It can never be touched, and yet the merest hint of its absence causes immediate distress. So that distress shows itself as, I'll shut down, depression, loss of self, I'll stay comfortable, I won't rock any boats, I'll be a people pleaser. That's your soul being covered over, and it will express its distress in loneliness and resentment and depression and numbness, etc. Yeah, Karen wants her brain to be less involved. I want to listen to my body and spirit. Yeah, I think you're better at that than you believe, and I'm going to hold that as a truth. So keep going with what you're doing, because you're getting there. So I'm going to invite you to, actually, I first want to say that each of you has come in here with a desire to shift, to transform something, whether that's a clarity, whether that's like knowing a next step, just shifting something within yourself. So I'm going to invite you to consider this 10 weeks, not as like work, but as the alchemist journey. You are the alchemist. So in medieval times, alchemy was referenced to is when you transform matter. Base metals to gold is the basic medieval. An alchemist can be said to be someone who transforms things for the better. Whatever the better means to you, it's something to think about. What would be the better for me? So on this journey, this alchemist journey, we'll be working with your mind and your body and your soul and your heart. This is the alchemy of you, all of you, to move from some or one of these challenges within you that you've articulated through the journey, through journaling, through support, through stepping out of your comfort zone, all of it. I love the word alchemy. There's so much power in that word, and feel free to, go explore that word. But to consider this an alchemist journey, then, the work, I got to do the work. There's something in that. Do you feel that? Yeah. So I also, before I get into leading you into a journal prompt, I would love for you to remember that there is a lot of light in you, and that your soul is the one that's like, what's next? What more? So often our souls get tucked away because we've lived listening to other people's opinions, trying to be somebody for someone else. As Carol so beautifully articulated, I became the person someone else wanted me to be. And so the soul is like quieted, but it's never gone. The desires, the essence of you is never gone. And it's not broken, and it's not needing fixing. You're not broken. We are not broken. There's no fault. We just have some uncovering to do, some inner gardening, inner alchemy. So I was just going to ask if I could get an agreement that we are, if anyone is holding on to the idea that you're broken or you need fixing or that there's something faulty about you, can we just like let go of that in this time? Can you just, I don't care if you put it on a post-it note, I'm not broken. Amen. Steph, can I get an amen? Yeah, so has anyone ever heard of the term expensive problem? My expensive problem. So it's the thing that's costing us. In the context of Re-Envision and in our time together, this is one of the things I'm going to invite you to identify for yourself. The expensive problem that is within you, for example, lack of confidence. I have a problem with confidence. Self-judgment, limiting negative beliefs, old habits. Those are examples of problems. I'm going to loosely use the word problem. Again, nothing needs to be fixed. It's not broken, but it's an issue. Expensive issues. Call it expensive issues. And they are costing you, me, we. So the expensive problem, example, lack of confidence, is costing your income, your joy, your passion. Could be your health, costing you the use of your voice. Do you see that? Make sense? So my example from my own personal life, for a long time, first of all, you would never see me doing this. I had incredible self-doubt. I was self-harming. I had low self-esteem. Lots of problems with Jen's relationship with Jen. It's so weird that when I talk in third person, I think of my mother because my mother always talked in third person. She always referred to herself as mom. Mom's not feeling well today. Mom, I'm talking to you. You are not feeling well today. So my self-doubt, my low self-esteem was an expensive problem because I wouldn't let myself go for my dreams. I literally tucked them away for more than almost 2 decades. I was like, and it cost me my joy and my passions. And there's many examples of how I did that, but just suffice it to say, I tucked it all away and I didn't see it at the time. What I was doing was moving toward a life I thought I should have. Companionship, buy a house, buy a timeshare, have 2 incomes, get a sales job, make good money, buy a cottage, have a garden, loved my garden. I on the outside, it looked like I had it all. But in the inside, I had tucked away everything that I was passionate about, except my garden, because I was with somebody and I didn't have the confidence to say, no, I want to pursue my dreams. I was with somebody that wanted me to make some money. So that was an expensive problem. It cost me a lot. Does it make sense to you, the expensive problem concept? You have any questions about it? Or is it clear? Yes, thanks, Karen. So when you look at, I just want to give you a practice on this. When you look at your personal life and you look at what might be the issue, whether that's lack of confidence, as my example, or self-judgment, or fear, like fear that keeps you small or stuck, how is it costing you? So I'm going to play some music, and I'd love to invite you to not think too hard. What is my expensive problem? Obviously, we all have more than one, but just name one and play a little bit with looking at ways it might be costing you. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you. I'll just give you a few minutes on this as soon as I get the song. So just what is my expensive problem, and how is that showing up in my life, and how is it costing me? What is it costing me? Obviously, this will be a question that you'll be taking into this week with you. So this first week is going to be about awareness. So when I invite you to look at what it's costing you, it's not so you can beat yourself up or judge yourself. It's because your power to shift and to go for what is next, to honor that strength of that creative work, to step into the woman that you're becoming, comes from your level of awareness. So looking at this from a perspective, okay, what is the thing that's been blocking me, or the things, and how is that costing me? This is my expensive problem that I want to be aware of, because from there I can make choices. Does that make sense? Okay. So you are where you feel the urge to share something, if I haven't given space for it, because I want to respect our time and get through leading you into the next the work for you for this week, you're welcome to just bring it to the Facebook group. But I do want to give well, Karen, thank you, Karen. I was going to give a couple of opportunities to share. So Karen's saying, my expensive problem is not listening to my intuition, to my inner knowing. When I defer to others as the authority over that voice, it costs me really knowing my true self. And this costs me living an authentic life, one where I trust myself, where I am safe within myself. Yeah, great. And so I would break that down and get specific in your details. Like, where in my life am I seeing me not living an authentic life? Like, yeah, you got that. Okay. Where am I not trusting myself? So that your awareness becomes so strong, because when you see how you're showing up and how that's costing you, then you can begin to pull on some of these things to practice. Like Carol, when you shared, you've lost your voice. I lose my voice. I have trouble communicating. I lose my voice. That's an expensive problem for you to look at. What is that costing me? But here is a great place for you to begin to practice using your voice. Does that make sense? Yeah, great. Yeah, beautiful. So anyone else want to share what their expensive problem is? Anyone want to be seen? Okay, that's okay. You also don't have to. I'm not a teacher here. I'm not gonna make you do it.
I can share.
Sure.
Well, my expensive problem is my procrastination, is saying I want to change my behavior, saying I want to develop a walking habit, and then just not doing it. So, yeah, just procrastination. It's just really saying I want to do this, but then choosing not to. I'll do it tomorrow.
And then let yourself focus a bit more on your journaling around, how is that costing me? In what ways in my life is that costing me? Whether that's your work or your daily morning routine or whatever it might be, so that you can become really aware of the ways that procrastination is costing you. Is it holding me back from being more successful in my work, which I know is something important to you? So you can get that clarity. Really good, thank you. So what I want to talk to you about is which leads us into the work for this week. One of the big contributors to our expensive problem is the story or the beliefs that we hold. Beliefs that we are holding, that are holding us back. Not one person in this group expressed a desire to keep on believing the old stories. I don't really want to be procrastinating. You did not say, I'm a procrastinator and I'm going to stay that way. So we're going to look at the story. I'm just going to read what Steph shared. Your expensive problem is fear. Fear is judgment, and by fearing what others think of me or my work, I'm giving my power away, making myself small and not allowing me to play big and getting to the next step in my life, in my writing, my earnings from creativity. Yeah, great. And I would even distill it down more, just like I've said to Karen and Jocelyn. So making myself small, how is that showing up for me? How am I doing that? Not allowing myself to play big. Where am I doing that? Because when you can see that, then you can create the opposite. Yeah, great. Thank you. Fear is a big one. I can relate. Don't think for a second I'm not terrified that I'm going to live in France for 3 months. Everybody's like, it's amazing. No, it's scary. So stories, beliefs. Very briefly, we will talk about this more. Yeah, fear is big too for Karen. These beliefs are created a long time ago. Does everyone have a sense of understanding about that? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is like the fear of unworthiness, like I'm not qualified to do this. I don't know enough to do this. I'm not an expert in this. That whole imposter syndrome thing.
Yeah.
I love what you're talking about here is distill it down even further. Like talk about the different parts of that aren't true. And I think of examples of so many people who've done the things that I kind of wish I had done in the past and let go and didn't experience and let fear stop me from doing, or things that I want to do. And I think there's a lot of people who do it who have no qualifications and do it beautifully and are successful. And it doesn't, you don't,
Yeah.
I got to get it out of my head, the logic in that story. Get rid of that story and all the stories.
I'm going to invite you to not get rid of the story. I'm going to invite you to get really clear about what the story is. That's all we're doing this week.
Okay, get clear on the story. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
we're not getting rid of anything.
Okay.
So yeah, really great. And thank you for sharing that. The story, and AKA our beliefs, are created. We'll get into it more and I'll talk more about it next week, but suffice it to say, we all have stories that are beliefs they come in 2 ways: emotional impact and repetition. Generational beliefs are an example of repetition, or saying in your own head, I can't, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, is repetition. You're going to believe what you're saying. Emotional impact, the emotional impact of the things that we experience, witness, were told as kids, is felt in the body. It goes right into us. We'll talk about that more. How the stories and the beliefs keep us are kept alive is through our living it. And I'll also talk about that more. But what we do is we believe it. So if I'm not good enough, like me, I'm not confident, I'm not good enough. My dreams of being an actor and a writer are just not worthy, so I'll just tuck them away. We believe it, we tell it to ourselves, and we live it. It's not a fault, it's just what happens. Example, the world is unsafe. So we look around and we look for things that reflect back what we believe to be true. So what you're going to do this week is you're going to look at your stories. Specifically, you're going to look at the stories in relation to the thing you're focusing on. So if your thing is, what's next for me, you're going to look at what stories are behind that question, what's the desire behind there? What am I believing about what's next for me? Do I have any story? I know for me, there was a long time I had that it's too late, I'm too old. So you're going to look at your stories. Now, I'll put some of this in the Facebook group as well. The thing about story is we can have an awareness to a degree. Usually it's just in the head. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I know. I'm bad at communication. I lose my voice. Yeah. Some of the stories can be born. They're mostly all born from surviving, Karen. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's actually the speech I'm doing for the Toronto Women's Network is loving the parts of ourselves we created to survive. So yeah, thank you for saying that. It's 100%. You could have an awareness. Yep, I procrastinate. Yeah, I know. I should really do this. I should really do that. Yeah, if only I could use my voice. If only I could talk. Well, it's one thing to have it in your head, but what we're going to do with our understanding of the stories is to really focus in on them. Like what I offered, where you look at like the minutia. Where is this showing up in my life, in my health, in my relationships? Where is this playing small showing up? So you see where it is in your life. I'm going to invite you to really get aware of how you're talking to yourself, what you're telling yourself. Gentle awareness. This is not a task. This is an invitation. I want to move you, if you are someone who's like, yeah, I know, I do that, to move out of not fluffing it off, to move out of fluffing it off, and not say, I need to change this, I need to do this, I need to do this. There's no force here. This is like an invitation to casually kind of look this week. What do shock therapy, Karen? No shock therapy. We're not doing shock therapy. What do I tell myself about this thing I want to focus on in this 10 weeks? Do I have a story that there isn't a next for me, that it's too late? What are the stories? And you're going to notice the good stories too. So my invitation this week is to we're just playing with awareness. What am I telling myself about who I am, what it is that I want? What am I believing to be true? And being really honest with yourself. Does this seem clear to you? Yeah, everybody clear? Not clear? Yes. Yeah, love yourself through it. Yeah. Journaling is better than electroshock therapy. Aren't you guys funny? Yeah, so all that we're doing this week is, what are my stories? How am I talking to myself? If my desire is to strengthen my creative work in the 10 weeks that I'm here, what am I telling myself? The good and the negative and the positive. What am I believing? And the more that you pay attention, the more you're going to see how you're talking to yourself, but also you might get some new awarenesses. Jot them down, put them in the journal if it comes to you. And let me just check one more thing. So week 1 is awareness. Week 1 and 2 are awareness, but this is the first level of awareness. Please do not make this about perfection. If you're like, catch yourself and you heard a voice inside you say, why bother? You'll never do it. Write it down. Wow, I just caught that. This is your place of power, your level of awareness. And then you're going to bring it to somebody's not muted. Let me just check. Oh, that's you. Okay, gotcha. So this might not feel like much, but nothing shifts without seeing in a real, embodied, intimate, let me lean in and see what I'm talking about with myself way about what is holding you back from the things that you've articulated of why you're here. So, does anyone have questions? Are you clear?
Yes, Mrs. Forgy.
It's Dr. Forgy to you. I always wanted to be a doctor, not a psychologist. Well, that too, but So you're going to not do this perfectly. You are gently looking with love and compassion and curiosity. What the hell am I telling myself about what's next for me? What am I telling myself about loving my life and what I don't love in my life? What am I telling myself about how I communicate? So you're welcome to share in the Facebook group. And I have one other task for you, which is that you're going to write a letter to yourself, ideally tonight, in your journal or on a separate piece of paper. Please write a letter to yourself from the voice of yourself 10 weeks from now. Like that, Jen? Yeah, it's a really loving way to be with ourselves. So thinking about what you shared and why you're here, you're going to write this letter 10 weeks from now, your voice 10 weeks from now. What does that voice have to say to you? And then you're going to tuck that letter away, either in an envelope or fold the page in your journal, and you're not going to look at it again until the end. So, sorry I went 3 minutes over. I'm trying to stay on time. So much to cover. How is everyone? You can unmute. Carol.
Good. It's yeah, scary, but a good scary.
Right on.
It's easier once you've met everybody too. And you're like,
Oh, yeah. Beth?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
And Jocelyn, did you want to say something?
Yeah. No, it's been great.
Okay. You might have emotions stirred up through this time. You're safe. You can always reach out to me. And you have a journal. Have
Thank
a
you.
beautiful night.
and Jen,
Oh,
hey, France.
oh, wait. Je vais en France cet été.
Oui, oui.
Oui. Sorry, I forgot to say, because I got this little post-it note. When you write your letter, I would love for you to take a picture. We don't need to see what you're writing, whatever you're comfortable, whatever that means to you, and put it on the Facebook. That's your accountability piece. Okay? Ideally do it tonight, day 1. Doesn't have to be 10 pages. To all my perfectionists out there. Okay, have a beautiful night. I will send the email with the recording. You'll get a new journal prompt tomorrow morning. If you have any questions or you're like, I hate this, I want out, contact me. There's no refund. You're in it. Oh my God. Karen, I hope you feel better. And thank you for being so present, even though you weren't on camera. Way to go. All right. Thank you, everyone. Beautiful.
Good
Night.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks, Jen.
You're so
Bye.
welcome.